How's it going, you guys? AZPlyo21 back again with another episode of our UFC save in WMMA 5, and today we have UFC Fight Night KASSEM versus HOU or HOU. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it, but this is quite a cool episode, honestly, because this is our first main event with a computer-generated fighter. MEIRONG HOU, Chinese athlete, May 2020. Comes from the world of kickboxing, one of the best in the country. She is 11-0, 4-0 in the UFC, and might be fighting for a title pretty soon. Her only loss in her entire career is to Natalia Silva back in October of 2021, and she's been very busy. I mean, 2 fights her first year, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 fights her second year, 1, 2, 3 fights, 1, 2 fights, and then this is her second fight of 2024. She already got that win back from Natalia Silva, knocked her out in round number 1. So, I mean, MEIRONG HOU looking pretty good. Formerly an atomweight, she fights at 120 up to 121. So this is the strawweight division, obviously. She's fighting NADIA KASSEM at 115. KASSEM on a 3-fight winning streak in her own right. So one of these two girls is probably going to fight for the title at some point in the near future. Let me see if I have anything specifically put on here. I don't. Let's take a look at the rankings real quick. Our next episode after this is going to be UFC 301, Sandhagen versus Song 2, pay-per-view, including Corey Sandhagen defending the Bantamweight Championship, trying to unify the title, as a matter of fact, against Yadong Song. So Mauricio Shogun Hua defending the interim light heavyweight title against Volkan Oezdemir. All right, and before we look at the rankings, I did want to mention, appreciate you guys as always. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. If you want to support me in another way, I did open a Patreon recently. Link is going to be down in the description below. If you would care to support me further, you can contribute to my Patreon page. Appreciate you guys as always. But yeah, links down in the description below for that. With that said, let's take a look at the rankings. Heavyweight, Stefan Struve into the top 20. Vyazegan in the rankings. Bukauskas moves down to number 22. At welterweight, Magomed Murov moving up a little bit. A couple new super lightweights getting in there as the division starts to slowly get more names in there. I'm starting to, as I bring guys up from WEC, just put them into super lightweight. Let's see, at lightweights, Gary Tonin moving down. Charles Oliveira up to number 9. I believe that was Gary Tonin's first loss in the UFC. Or no, he won. I don't know what happened there. Alexander Hernandez moving down a little bit. Jalen Turner moving down after losing to Oliveira. That's what I should have mentioned. Nothing at featherweight, nothing at bantamweight. At flyweight, Kolvinskas moving up. Takahashi moving down to number 18. Who did Takahashi fight? He fought Kolvinskas and lost. And Kolvinskas moved up to number 15, so good for him. At featherweight, couple people moving down. We had Obata in a huge upset lose to Faith McMaw, who moves up to number 16. Good for her. Bantamweight, Kunitskaya moving up a little bit. Fukushi moving down. Nothing at flyweight other than Jiyeon So debuting. And at strawweight, bringing back Alicia Zapatella, who was doing very well in Invicta. 2 straight wins. Just, let's bring her back up. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. UFC Fight Night KASSEM versus HOU. However you want to pronounce it. 8 main card fights on this one. It just kind of happened that way. I had too many fights scheduled already, and it happened. All right, let's go ahead and get into our first prelim. Gabriel Green, who, as I'm recording this, just won in his fight last night against Johan Lainez. He takes on Luigi Vendramini in our first prelim. If my PC wants to load. But as I'm recording this, I'm about a week away from hopefully going to UFC 274, Oliveira versus Gaethje. Should be a pretty interesting fight card as we go ahead, and Gabriel Green gets the win, 16-5 now in his career. Moving along, James Nakashima taking on Johnny Hendricks, who is wow. I mean, he's on 4 straight losses. He's probably going to get cut. I mean, he's still high-level national. That's insane how he's still high-level national. Hendricks, fantastic fight. TKOs James Nakashima, so not so fast. Johnny Hendricks gets a big win. Marcus Vansanen taking on Salimgare Rasulov in our next contest. Vansanen, a huge underdog to Rasulov, who gets the TKO victory in round number 2. Moving right along, Tamira Smagolov taking on Martin Nguyen. Man, is Smagolov doing okay in real life? I believe he's deaf. Doesn't say anything about that. Martin Nguyen, 0-1 in his UFC career thus far, and it's Smagolov who gets the win via TKO here today. Richie Smullen taking on Muhammad Iman at 145, and it's Iman getting the TKO win, 14-6 in his career now. Moving right along, Kang taking on Bryce Meredith. Meredith, 3-2 in the UFC, not the perfect start he would have wanted, but against very good competition in Robin Van Roosmalen and Pat Sabatini. And it's Bryce Meredith getting the decision victory here today. Says he had a lot of respect for Kang. Gotta appreciate it. Joshua Kulabau taking on Askab Zulayev. Kulabau 8-4. Askab 145, or 14-5, I should say. And it's Kulabau getting the unanimous decision victory. He's now 500, 4-4 in his UFC career, and on a little winning streak as well. Gotta love it. Reginaldo Vieira taking on Mark De La Rosa. Well known for being the husband of Montana De La Rosa. Big favorite as well, and De La Rosa knocks out Vieira for the 16th win of his career. Now having a winning record in the UFC. Gotta love it. Loss over Patrick Mix his last time out, and he gets a win here today. Jakob Wicklotch taking on Luca Iovine at 135, and it's Wicklotch who gets the win. He is now 2-1-1 in the UFC. Drug test failure his last time out, and getting a win after the fact. Barnaby Childs taking on Demarion Cunningham in the flyweight division. Childs is the favorite, and it's Cunningham who gets the TKO win over Barnaby Childs here today. Cunningham now 2-3 in his UFC career thus far. Moving right along, strong heart fighter Atsuki Harada taking on Brianna Van Buren. In the beginning fight of the main card, Harada, huge favorite, and it is Atsuki Harada winning by split decision over Brianna Van Buren. Number 23 in the division. She is on 7 fight winning streak now after getting the win over Van Buren. Reena Miura taking on Aaliyah Hodgson in the featherweight division. Hodgson, a huge underdog, making her UFC debut, coming off 2 straight wins in Invicta. Featherweight division needs more faces, needs more fighters. Miura coming off 2 straight losses. I mean, tough opponents. Janae Harding and Cyborg. So, I mean, she's done well for herself. And Aaliyah Hodgson actually wins via split decision over Reina Miura. So a great UFC debut for Hodgson. Huge underdog getting the victory. Joseph Morales taking on Elias Garcia in the flyweight division, and Nance Morales getting the guillotine win, now 500 in his UFC career. And he's calling out Kawaburasai. Interesting call out. AJ Agazarm taking on Ali Abdul Kalikov in the lightweight division, or super lightweight division, I should say. Abdul Kalikov, 0-3 in the UFC, might be getting cut after this, unfortunately. And he will not, actually. He gets a TKO win over AJ Agazarm when he was a full 9 pounds lighter than him. Interesting. Brad Tavares taking on Fabian Edwards in the middleweight division, Tavares is very back and forth in this save. I believe he's still in the top 10, though. Number 6 in the division. Coming off a loss to Paulo Costa, but before that, Whitaker, Carvalho, and Jack Hermanson. And then Fabian Edwards coming off fighting for the title over Darren Till. Wins over Lovato Jr. and Tom Breeze. I mean, Edwards is pretty close to fighting for the title again, honestly. And 9-1 in his UFC career, high-level national. This guy is set to fight for the title again. He gets another couple wins. But Brad Tavares TKOs Fabian Edwards in round number 2. 23rd win of his career. 18-10 in the UFC now. Mid-level national. Gotta love it. This guy is doing very well for himself. And he's calling out Paulo Costa. That would be a very interesting fight. All right, bantamweights. Wazuka Shimadu taking on Kaneko Chikanatsu. Both Japanese bantamweight fighters. Chikanatsu making her UFC debut after a good run in Invicta. On the other side, you have Wazuka Shimadu, already ranked, coming in out of Invicta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-fight winning streak coming out of Invicta. High-level national in Japan, mid-level national already in America, because Invicta is becoming such a good company that the women fighters coming out of there are already very popular. More popular than some of the UFC fighters, honestly. And it's Shimadu getting the submission in round number 1. 13-3 now. Already ranked, a big popular name already. And she's calling out Nico Montano. Gotta love it. Alright, Kazushi Tsukawaki in the co-main event, taking on Tyson Pedro. In real life, we just saw Tyson Pedro put an absolute beating on Ike Villanueva. Tyson Pedro here in the save, coming off a loss to Shogun Rua in August of 23. And Tsukawaki, 2-0 already in the UFC career. Wins over Johnny Walker and Ion Q Chalaba. Very good wins. And only 28 years old. Light heavyweight out of Japan. Low-level international already. This guy is already very popular. PFL champion as well. So this guy is getting it done. He's the favorite here today. And it is Tsukawaki getting it done in round number 1. Unbelievable job by him. NADIA 187 KASSEM in our main event, taking on MEIRONG HOU. Like I mentioned, both ladies might be fighting for a championship soon. And oh, I accidentally skipped the entire main event. That is my bad. MEIRONG HOU in a fantastic fight with NADIA KASSEM wins it via TKO in round number 4. The fight rated as being fantastic. This young lady is probably going to be fighting for the title in her near future. You gotta love it. And let's see, 5,000 in North Carolina came to watch. No popularity changes. Let's see who we're giving out these bonuses to. Any first round, first of all, fantastic fight, giving them the fight of the night. First round bonus, we got Tsukawaki, we got Shimadu, we've got Abdul Kalikov, we got Morales. We've also got Cunningham, Wicklotch, we got Della Rosa, we've got Iman, we've got Ismagulov, and we've got Gabriel Green. We might make a loss on this card. We still make almost $1 million in profit, even with giving the fighters a whole bunch of money. Highest paid fighters on the night are Tsukawaki, Hendricks, HOU, and Green, respectively. Gotta love it. Like I mentioned, our next episode is going to be UFC 301. That's going to be a big one. Sanhagen versus Song, unifying the bantamweight title. Like I mentioned, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Follow me on Twitch, on Twitter. You can support me on Patreon. Links are down in the description below. Appreciate you guys as always, and I will see you at the fights.